What's up, DeFi Kingdoms fans? We got a big day going on today. Today is the date of release for Gardening Quest. So for those of you who are familiar with the game, Gardening Quest and Mining Quest was disabled since the beginning of the game. But today will be the release of Gardening Quest, where you can unlock additional jewels if you provide liquidity in DeFi Kingdoms. So I have a lot of news to share, and today on Discord, one of the devs started an AMA and they answered a lot of questions about gardening that we may have. So I compiled this gardening release FAQ mega thread on Twitter. I will link it in the description below. So I appreciate it if you guys like and retweet so we can get the information out there to all the fans of DeFi Kingdoms. So let's go into what's going on with this. So before we go into it, actually, if you look at the stats for gardening, make sure you pick up your gardening heroes before the release, because after the release, I suspect the demand will be extremely high for gardening class, and make sure you have these stats ready. So wisdom and vitality are the most important stats for gardening, and you will need it because they will affect the number of jewels that you get from your hero when they begin to garden. So keep that in mind. That's very important. As a DeFi nerd, I enjoy our freedom to anonymously control our finances. But you know what's even better? What's even better is when you can become truly anonymous on the internet. That's right, I recommend my favorite VPN service provider as today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. You can get a special limited time deal for $1.39 a month with 30 days money back guarantee by clicking on the link in the description below. So what can you do with Atlas? With Atlas, you can watch shows on Netflix that are only available in certain countries. So get crazy, jump to another country, and you can go on with your viewing. You can also get crazy deals by spoofing your location on certain online shopping sites. So, and most importantly of all, Atlas comes with ad block and a malware detector. So it will help you on your journey to safe browsing on the web. So for all of us degens out there, I know we like to YOLO into something with 10,000% APY. So instead of getting rug pulled all the time, you should think about putting some money in an app like VPN, like an Atlas VPN. It only costs you a tiny amount of money. I negotiated a deal just for you guys. It's a Christmas deal, so you get 86% off and extra 3 months, all for free, just by clicking the link in my description and sign up for an account. All right, thank you guys for your support, and on to the video. Let's look at some of the news that was announced today by the devs in the Discord. We'll go one by one and then we'll see if we can understand what they're talking about. So here, this person, I didn't capture the name, but I think he's one of the famous devs. So he said, I'm going to tell you something very on-hober of me. I'm just telling you exactly how gardening formula works. So buckle in, we're going to dive into some differential equations. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that gardening works very differently for foraging and fishing. Rather than requiring a set time to complete, gardening provides a reward for each stamina spent doing it. Stamina is spent at a rate of 1 per 12 minutes in most heroes, but heroes in the gardening profession will be able to reduce the rate to 1 stamina per 10 minutes. So this is very different than the other classes. You can recover 1 stamina every 10 minutes instead of the standard 12 minutes when you do foraging or fishing. So that's the very first big difference about this class. So the minimum stamina needed to do a quest is 1, and you need to stop gardening early and you can also stop gardening early to receive the reward as the time you put in. That's another difference. So right now you have to have like a minimum of 5 if you are fishing and you're a fisherman class, and if you're not a fisherman class and you want to fish, it will cost you 7 stamina. So you can't even start questing unless you have the minimum number of stamina required. But for gardening, you only need 1. 1 is the minimum stamina needed to do it. So assuming you spend at least 1 tick worth of time, I would say a tick a lot here. And what I mean by that is the amount of time 1 stamina is spent by your hero. So keep that in mind. 1 tick equals 1 stamina, which is 10 minutes for gardening class. However, I would say that the quest does provide more reward for more stamina spent. So keep that in mind. So if you spend more stamina, you will likely get more rewards. Along with this, only one hero is allowed to garden in a specific garden at a time. That's important. So if you're trying to stack a lot of gardening heroes, you're not going to have a good time. Gardens are the incentivized pools you see in the gardens. So in the LP gardens, you do not need to have LP in the garden to be able to quest there, but you will not receive any jewel rewards if you do not have the amount of LP in that garden. So if you provide liquidity in a specific garden pair, like jewel 1 token, so the reward of number of jewels will be based on your proportion of your LP compared to the whole LP pool. So I'll go into that later when we go into the formula and stuff. So here's the formula. So they actually give you the entire formula that they use to calculate your earn rates, number of jewels that you'll be able to earn based on how much liquidity you provide, your hero stats, your hero's gardening level, and their stamina. So they all factor into the actual reward. So here's an explanation for each of those terms. So if you look at the formula over here, so he explains all the different terms. So reward pool, so this is the balance of the quest pool wallet. So at launch, they will give you a lot of jewels in a specific wallet to reward you for that. So pool allocation, this is the percent of allocation of a specific garden, the allocation. So this is, like I said earlier, if you are providing liquidity in a pool, this is your allocation, the percent allocation. So let's say you are putting $1,000 in a pool with a total number of 1 million. So your share of the pool is exactly 0.1%, right? I think that's right. Yeah, 0.1%. So that's how you calculate it. So LP owned is the percent of the liquidity pool that players own in the selected garden. Oh yeah, sorry, I got it confused. LP owned, that's the number that you actually own compared to the liquidity pool. Pool allocation, that's the number that you see on the pool itself, on the garden seed box. If you open the seed box, you'll see that how much jewels was allocated to that pool. So for example, for the jewel 1 pool, you get 50-something%. Gardening skill, the hero's gardening skill. So this one is very tricky. So it only counts the first integer value. So if your hero has 1.9 garden skill, you have the same result as 1 garden skill. But if your hero has 2.0 garden skill, then you have 2. So only the first digit counts. Gene bonus. So this means if your hero is a gardener, they will give 20% bonus of jewel return. So keep that in mind. That's why gardener class are getting bought up right now at a premium, because people are rushing in to get all the gardening classes. Launch bonus, that's a special multiplier applied at launch that will start at 5 at launch and decrease by 0.5 every 2 weeks until the value is 1. So this is to incentivize people to start gardening as soon as possible in order to rebid all the rewards given out to players. It will reduce over time. So there are many moving parts to this equation. You can see that the hero stats and gardening skills are represented, but the reward will also scale based on the size of the quest pool. The allocation given to a specific garden, as an example, I believe that Jewel 1 pool is about 50% allocation right now, and the advantage of that pool that you control. So as the quest pool grows, everyone's reward increases. Conversely, if the pool shrinks, everyone's reward will decrease. It's up to us devs to be careful about how to allocate rewards to ensure a healthy game for years to come. So they will take care of that in terms of the total pool size allocation. So that's the first part. Now there's a lot more. You also may have seen the launch bonus term in there. We previously announced that they will boost award for 6 months. Since that announcement, we ran away many models and came to the conclusion that 4-month period will allow enough time for us to release higher level gardening quests for heroes to get to the state where they can be getting good rewards. So we reduced that amount to the pressure, so we put on the quest pool. So one thing I will remind you guys is that along with the receiving jewel rewards, it is also possible to receive 3 different plant items, which are all used to make potions. And you can also receive tears, runes, green eggs as rewards. So all the usual rewards you get, but this time you get materials to make potions. So like fishing and foraging, your chance of receiving tears and runes are increased if you have the gardening gene. Yeah, so if you have the right gene, you will get increased chance of receiving these bonus. So alchemists are people where in the characters in the game where you can make potions. So they have a bit of bad news there. Due to some bugs they ran into, that means that alchemists will not be able to make potions this week. They'll have to move the timeline to next week. So to prevent people from trying to game the system, please be aware that the gardening quest will calculate earn rate twice. Once with the state of your character, and again at the moment you started the quest, and again at the moment you complete it. You will receive lesser amount between those two rates. So that's to try to get people to prevent them from gaming the system. With all that said, I will open the floor to some questions. So I think the last part is more Q&A. You can definitely read about it on my Twitter. But let's go into the calculation. I think that's the part you guys are interested. So I got this from I Know Kung Fu from Discord. So really thank this person for it. I will link his spreadsheet in the description below. So this is my copy, so I can start making some changes. So what I have here is let's look at one example. This is the actual formula to get how much you earn per stamina. So think about it. This is per stamina every 10 minutes. This is how much you can earn. And this is the formula that the devs mentioned to calculate that. And here's all the things that we just mentioned. So the example here is a $1,000. If you put it in the current pool of 1 and Jewel liquidity pair, let's say you have $1,000 in that pool. That pool has about $250 million total in there. So your share, it's about 0.0004% of the pool if you put in $1,000. All right, so keep that in mind. Actually, I did the math. So this is the actual number. That pool, let's see how much money that is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, $215 million in that pool. So what I'm doing is I'm putting $1,000 in for liquidity pool, and then the percent out of that, this is my share of the pool. It's very tiny, 0.0046. All right, let's say my hero. So all of these here don't change. Their launch bonus. I think this one may need to be 1.2 or something. I forgot what the original number was. I was playing around, but I'll leave it at that. So he mentioned that this is a number. So this is the bonus pool for launch. And the pool allocation, this is figured out from the website itself when you open the seed box. So this is set. It's 0.4855. You don't change that. So these are the stats of your hero. So if your hero has 5 wisdom and 9 vitality, you have 14 stats total. As you can see, this goes into the formula, and it's a vital factor to determine how much earn rate you get. And then your gardening skill. So at the moment, I think everybody's gardening starts at 0. So as soon as you get to level 1, you get this multiplier. So gardening skill is right here. And then here's the jewel multiplier. I actually don't know what this number is and how they figured it out, but I think that should be 5 or 1. I'm not sure. But basically, giving $1,000 in the liquidity pool, you get this many jewels per 10 minutes. So if you do the math, so you have 60 minutes in a day, in an hour, and then 24 hours in a day. So if you do the math, you got 1440 minutes per day, right? 1440. So if you do this number, times 1440, that's the number of jewels that you get per day if you quest every single minute. Sorry, you had to divide it by 10. So that's how it is. 0.09 jewels a day if you have $1,000 in the pool. So this is my calculation right now. I could be wrong, but I suggest you go in there and check it out. And that seems pretty high to me. You get almost 1 jewel a day if you put in $1,000 in the allocation pool, and your hero has this stats, and then you quest all day long. You know, so all day is like 1440 minutes, but you only get like 1 stamina per 10 minutes. So that's about 144. So we could just do this, and you probably should get the same number. Yeah, so 0.093 jewels a day if you put $1,000 in the pool. So I think this is a great reward if you are gardening, and I think this will definitely drive people to put their money in liquidity pools, and people will start buying all of these gardening heroes and try to raise their stats and increase their rewards. So I hope you guys enjoy this quick rundown. I know we have like, it's not even launched yet at the time of recording this video, but I suspect it could be launched any minute now. So once it launched, prepare to look at the price of jewels. I think jewels will probably go up again when it launches due to the number of people who are buying in. But it seems like for the past few days, jewels has been anticipating on this gardening quest. So the price has been going up quite a bit significantly. So yeah, that is my thought. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't want to make it too math, but if you want the spreadsheet, you know, I know Kung Fu from the Discord channel has this great spreadsheet with a lot of information there about every single class and all of that stuff. So credit to him. I will put the link in the description. So check it out. Please like and share and subscribe to my channel, and let all the DeFi Kingdom communities that you participated know about this. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.